Hello, it's me again. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Occupy camps, because I think this is very important. Now, when you looked at the camps, they just looked like a pretty much big mess of tents, didn't they? They caused damage to the lawns, well, not the lawns, just the grass really, or wherever they were. And when you got down under it, there was quite a lot of rubbish. So you would think, what's good about that? They're ruining our parks. They're not bringing anything good in. But I feel this must be looked at. And this for all occupations, for a matter of fact, that they have done. Okay, so you go to an Occupy camp, or you stay at an Occupy camp. Ones like Zuccotti Park would have a medical facility, like a small tent or a large marquee, just some kind of tent for, well, it was MDs, nurses, all sorts. People who had medical skills would go there and they would get supplied by donations and all sorts. That's a good point, actually. They would get constant donations. Even though Occupy has fought, yeah, I'll talk about that in the next video, actually, or I'll talk about that later on in this video. Previously on to what I was on before. So yeah, there was the Occupy camps, which were obviously sorting out a lot of stuff. They provided tents for homeless people, So they provided a service for people who had nowhere to go. They usually each camp would have an area for people to have food, and it was free because they're wanting cheaper stuff and more freedom. Well, I don't exactly mean cheap stuff, but yeah, even I find it hard to see what they're trying to stress. But I'm finding this a pretty difficult video for now because of what's happening. Okay, look at an Occupy camp. It's got a medical site. It's also got actually a water system. This is one that was found at Zuccotti Park the time it got evicted. They basically had what was called a grey water system, and they would use it for dishwashers, for cleaning stuff, not for drinking water obviously, because that's why it's called grey water. So it's basically just for washing and cleaning. So they had that. These are actually kept in New York Museum, but have been taken out lately to help with the Occupy Sandy relief. And they were basically bicycles. And the idea of these bicycles, and at the time they got transported all around America because each Occupy encampment needed their own electricity because the generators that they had before got taken off of them. And these bikes, people would obviously ride them and create electricity by an engine that would stick at the back. Very clever, I thought. I've even looked at some of the encampments, and they've had solar panels, they've had small wind turbines. Later on, they started to get really environmentally friendly, because the three things I mentioned, apart from the generators, were all energy efficient, and obviously they're trying to help with the environment crisis. But yeah, if you just go to an Occupy camp, it's going to have everything. It's going to have an information board too, which I found was a very good thing, because you would obviously need that for different reasons. If you were going to inform people. They had a library, and this is something that came on that I was going to say before earlier in this video. And they would supply books, obviously. Now there were 5,000 books at the Zuccotti Park encampment. So, you know, I can think, very good. Good job on them. But this is when the protests were thought to be unpopular, but the truth is, really, they're not unpopular. It's just the fact that, you know, they support them. It's just they don't believe the protests are getting anywhere, so they'll do their own way of supporting it. Like, if somebody asks about Occupy Wall Street, they'll say it's a great idea, but they won't protest like they used to. And there's proof of this too, because 5,000 books, obviously I told you about getting transported to Zuccotti Park. That means that 5,000, you know, like, books are being donated by people who obviously thought the Occupy encampment was a good idea. So you think, that's good. And then you look at what happened in Occupy London. Now this was, it was done in September, and they basically occupied Free Barnet Library, I think it was. Yeah, it was, yeah. I don't know if it's spelt, well, not spelt. It said free and right. And up to 8,000 books have been delivered. And that's just and basically what it is now is a community hub. You know, it's a discussion place. It's not any kind of protest whatsoever. It's basically just saying we need more places like this for people to talk and to get together, organise events. It's because they will actually, if you just stick a name down, you know, of your event, they will host it, because you go to a community centre and they may say, well, they'll probably say, no, we don't think this will be a good idea because it's against what we believe in. But I've even seen them host, you know, stuff. Well, like, obviously I've seen this stuff on YouTube. I haven't actually seen them myself because I don't live anywhere near London, so I can't. But yeah, they've just done all sorts. Yeah. Now this is going to be a part 1 of 2, and the next one I'm going to explain the importance of the encampment today.